Hello friends, welcome to 99 Movie Recaps. Today we will recap movie Piranhaconda released in 2012. Let's get started. It is visible on the begin of the movie that a professor turned into going to a wooded area for a studies together along with his group through helicopter, where they discover many eggs beside a lake. Professor receives excited, seeing them. Now Professor turned into locking one of the eggs in a jar to take it with him. At the identical time, a large snake seems from the lake. It turned into piranha and anaconda hybrid. It means Piranhaconda. This Piranhaconda victimizes the professor's group, performing from the lake. But Professor escapes from there. After this, it's far visible when pilot of helicopter glimpses Piranhaconda. He starts off evolved to fly helicopter from here. But Piranhaconda assaults the helicopter. As a result, helicopter is crashed. Professor turned into were given worried, seeing helicopter. Because it turned into simplest a manner to break out from here. The scene movements to that wooded area in which the capturing of a film turned into going on. And many human beings have been running with the film director. Then the two film workers Jack and Rose also are visible there. Who have been speaking with every other. And it's also regarded that they each are the near friends. Then a woman seems there who turned into asking approximately mild meter. Rose tells her that it's far on the financial institution of the lake. As that woman turned into attempting to find that mild meter close to the financial institution of the lake, Piranhaconda seems there. That woman can't come across its arrival. As she seems up after lifting the mild meter, she may be very scared, seeing Piranhaconda. She runs to the wooded area even as shouting. But Piranhaconda additionally pursues her here. And it swallows that woman's half of leg as she falls down. So she couldn't stroll and he or she turned into additionally locating problem to stroll and shop herself. Then Piranhaconda swallows her even as attacking her. Now Jack and Rose once more come at the scene once more. Where Rose turned into telling him approximately her studies on Piranhaconda. But Jack does now no longer accept as true with on her words. She tells Jack that it's been visible with inside the wooded area simply now. But Jack ignores it, making amusing of it. One woman turned into shifting to that lake to take the bath. Piranhaconda unexpectedly assaults her. That woman screams loudly as she sees Piranhaconda. But Piranhaconda swallows her absolutely at a time. Now Professor is proven who notices a mill. But a gang member grabs him, coming there. Professor explains to the criminals that it isn't secure for us to live here. I will hand you over the cash which you need. But we ought to flee from here. They started to chortle on his instructed story. They lock him with inside the mill. The criminals locate an egg jar whilst checking the bag of Professor which he had discovered close to the lake. A new researcher crew is likewise visible with inside the movie. They had arrived with inside the wooded area to take a weed flower, in order to create ease for curing the human bodily problems. That researcher components from her crew searching for that flower. On the alternative side, that doctor's crew participants get the one's flowers. They listen the loud shouting of the doctor. They have been leaving after taking this flower, then Piranhaconda reaches there. It victimizes each of them badly, surrounding them. Now the site of the movie taking pictures is shown. It is visible that an actress comes close to the lake to memorize the script, where she glimpses Piranhaconda. And she runs from there. Now that Piranhaconda changed into after her. One greater Piranhaconda seems there earlier than that Piranhaconda assaults her. It well known shows that there isn't best one Piranhaconda however two. And they each assault collectively to swallow that female. Consequently, that female is dismembered. In this way, she faces a pathetic death. Now Jack is visible who changed into beside the motion director of the movie. That motion director teaches Jack to blow up the blasting caps. They are exploded after throwing at the ground. On the alternative side, movie's director is visible who's telling all that. This movie's buyers has refused make investments on it. So we are able to ought to forestall the movie taking pictures. Hearing it, all experience sad. They all come upon the criminals after they have been coming back from there. All have been feared, witnessing them. So one of the crook fires his gun at the foot of the director. They are greater afraid because of this. And they start perform their orders. But Jack and that motion director throw the ones blasting caps at the ground, which are exploded, and that they break out from there. Some of the criminals start to chase each of them. The different criminals snatch the mobile Lular telecell smartphone from the relaxation in their crew participants. And they go, taking them. Jack and Gunner director. There have been a few the ones gang participants after them. They each determine that they'll break out parting from every different. So the one's criminals' interest can be diverted. They're changed into a crook after that motion director. He kills him with the assist of a chunk of a wood. On the alternative side, Jack jumps right into a lake whilst running. But the person who changed into chasing him changed into continuously firing his gun at him. But Jack survives due to being below the water. Now Piranhaconda reaches right here and it swallows the pursuer crook after Jack. Here Jack is rescued from that crook, however he's not able to glimpse Piranhaconda. But he knew that there's a monster right here. He runs away, feeling worry from it. One of the group member reveals the digital digicam of Professor. They watch the Piranhaconda in its video recording. And they're scared. Now a pair changed into being visible even as playing at the island. When that boy movements to the forest, he turns into the sufferer of Piranhaconda. His buddy changed into feeling worried due to his now no longer attaining the spot even after an extended time. But she overcomes her worry due to the fact she thinks that her buddy is pranking with her. That crook says to his head right here, "We will now no longer combat with any snake." Then he famous that it isn't always a snake. It is Piranhaconda. He additionally says with it that we ought to depart this egg. Because that Piranhaconda can arrive to us even as looking for this egg. But their head does now no longer do that and continues that egg in his possession. Because he thinks that lots of cash may be attained after promoting this egg. One of the criminals data a video, making 3 of them sit. He says that we will kill 3 of them, locating no penny inside 3 days. Rose is visible with inside the equal scene. Who calls that crook toward her. And she flees after entrapping and attacking him. Being aggressive, that crook sends his guy after her. Rose reaches beside the lake even as running. There are the eggs of Piranhaconda. Rose receives worried, seeing the one's eggs. Meanwhile, that crook guy arrives there. He goes to attack her. Suddenly, Piranhaconda seems there. And it victimizes that guy. Rose returns back, witnessing it. Contrarily, Jack and his companion had additionally reached the mill, where they idea that their partners had been imprisoned there. As they see via the binoculars. Then they glimpse Rose there. Jack is visible who changed into firing his gun and killing criminals. And Jack's companion fixes a bomb in that mill. On the alternative side, Jack has introduced all outside, rescuing them. And the one's contributors additionally react on it, firing their guns. There is a brilliant conflict amongst them. At the equal time, Piranhaconda arrives here. Then all start to shoot Piranhaconda, forgetting fight. But it does now no longer get any harm. It eats a lady member of the criminals at the beginning sight. And all of them are scared, gazing at. On the alternative side, Jack's associate who had constant the bomb in that mill. He detonates that bomb. That mill is destroyed. But he is likewise died, receiving a shot of a gun with the aid of using someone. Now it's miles visible that they had been escaping from there, riding away their vehicle. But Piranhaconda become additionally after them. That crook who had survived at that time. He chases them, driving at the bike. Piranhaconda seems earlier than them, shifting briskly in every other manner. Jack stops the automobile for a whilst. And they're scared. But Jack begins off evolve to force the automobile now. All had been scaring very much. Because no person had the understanding that what goes to happen. At the equal time, that crook assaults their vehicle with the rocket bomb. It strikes Piranhaconda, leaving it injured. At the equal time, the alternative Piranhaconda seems there. It kills the first Piranhaconda, locating it feeble. Jack's vehicle is long gone out of order, shifting ahead. As a result, they get concerned too much. Because that they'd no different manner. Then that professor informs them approximately a boat. He additionally tells them that he's unaware approximately that boat. So they should look for that boat on foot. Now director comes at the scene. It have been witnessed as he had survived. He reveals that female at the manor who have been visible at the island. She tells him that I am anticipating my pal. Here the director starts off evolve to provide an explanation for to him that your pal have been eaten with the aid of using that large snake. Disagreeing with director, that woman actions amid of the wooded area to look her pal. And she glimpses many eggs close to the lake. That director tells her that those eggs without a doubt belong to Piranhaconda. That woman begins off evolve to crack all the one's eggs in aggression, the usage of a stick. At the equal time, Piranhaconda arrives there. It assaults that guy and eats his entire frame besides his feet. That woman had panicked, witnessing Piranhaconda. And she becomes screaming. Then Piranhaconda eats her half of frame. Jack and his partners had succeeded to look for a boat. Now they word the egg jar with inside the bag of that professor, whilst crossing on that boat. And they say, you had stated that it is able to come after us because of this egg. And the professor announces right here that I will have a look at on it. Here they arrive to recognize that professor can't depart this egg. A crook shoots Jack's shoulder right here. So his shoulder is wounded. Those criminals did now no longer need the money. Now he desired to kill that Piranhaconda. Jack restores his accept as true with that. We can give up that Piranhaconda. Meantime, Piranhaconda seems there, and it starts to consume the individuals of the crook one via way of means of one. There Jack's one of the partners say, I carry the one's guns. You and Rose can also additionally break out from right here. At the equal time, Piranhaconda reaches close to her, consuming everyone. And it additionally victimizes her. There Rose had stressed, witnessing those happenings. Jack encourages her and additionally says, I can end it. He says to Rose, move to boat. When Rose became intending closer to boat, the professor became almost to flee, taking this boat. She sails on that boat, preventing the professor. Now that professor became going to sail that boat saying, now Jack may also meet his give up. On the alternative side, Jack is seen, who leaves with guns to give up Piranhaconda, using on a four-wheeler bike. But Piranhaconda became chasing the professor through water. Rose says to the professor, we must throw this egg. And she starts to throw it whilst lifting. Professor says to her, egg is the maximum important. It can be recorded with inside the history. In spite of it, Rose throws it into the water. Now that professor reverses that boat to take the egg back. As professor became going to take the egg out of the water, Rose pushes him into the water. She leaves, owning that egg. Piranhaconda eats the professor with inside the water right here. Rose reaches Jack, taking that egg. They attain close to the lake, taking this egg back. They trickily restoration a bomb in the egg. As Piranhaconda starts to continue them, they throw that egg closer to Piranhaconda. And Piranhaconda swallows that egg. That bomb is blasted with inside the mouth of Piranhaconda, leaving it wounded. Rose and Jack had fallen into water whilst throwing that bomb closer to Piranhaconda. So they each had survived. Now they have been excited there as being survivors. But it's far observed right here that Piranhaconda became nevertheless alive. And the film completes in this scene. Piranhaconda was released in year 2012. Movie is directed by Wynorski. This movie scored 2.9 rating out of 10 on IMDb. The main cast of the movie are Michael Madsen, Rib Hillis, Michael Swan, Rachel Hunter, Terry Ivans, Shandy Finnessy, Kurt Yeager and Christina Da Rosa. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe our channel 99 Movie Recaps.